Hello. I just stopped in today just with a quick video on the topic, kind of a follow-up on last week. We were talking about setting boundaries. We were talking about removing the false burdens, things that are not really our problem that we have somehow took on as people pleasers, as you know, just kind of not having those firm boundaries in place. And I just wanted to do a secondary follow-up on that, I guess you would say. I always ask myself often, like mostly in a joking manner, but I'm like, why am I like this? Like, especially when I do something silly or a little offbeat or whatever, I'm like, why am I like this? But that's like a real question that we should definitely ask ourselves, especially if we're trying to get down to the bottom of things that we see as issues in our life. Like, why am I like this? And a point of just kind of going back to map out, how did we get to this point? Usually it's not something that just started, you know, that we just kind of picked up out of nowhere. Usually it's something gradual that's over the years. If we found ourselves being a person that lacks boundaries or being a person that lacks the ability to speak up for themselves, it's something that kind of goes on over the years. So you have to do the mapping in your life to figure out, you know, why this happened, why are you like this, and to begin to turn that thing around. I'm thankful that I was able to rise above that. I was able to start setting boundaries. I was able to start speaking up for myself and releasing the fear of always being worried about somebody's opinion about me. I was very thankful that I was able to release all of that, but I had to go back. You gotta go back in order for you to get to the end and just kind of see what's going on. And it was kind of like just me mapping it out for myself, and I'll definitely share with you guys today. Like, I did have somewhat of a traumatic childhood. I'm not gonna go through all the details because it's a lot, but just that I realized that was where everything started from. I didn't have parents. I spent a lot of time alone. I lived in a lot of different places. It was just kind of like a very weird upbringing. I had guardians, I had people, you know, who loved me, but I didn't have that structure of a normal people with, you know, 2 parents, normal household, all that kind of stuff. That was not my life whatsoever at all, in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. And it just caused like a lot of internal instability for me. My sense of belonging was not there. My sense of security wasn't there like it should have been, because I was kind of missing some of those vital things. And I began to feel like I needed to overcompensate by being really good, since people were taking care of me who weren't technically my parents. So it was like, that was my introduction when I began to just kind of like really get into this, probably like, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago, probably a little more than that. But when I really just began to like see what's going on, why are these problems happening, just kind of digging into my past, and I was just kind of mapping that out and kind of piecing it together. And you have to do the same thing regarding your situation and see what's going on. And I started off with that instability, with that needing to overcompensate, you know, by being really good. And it was weird because, like, in elementary, I was a class clown. I'm not gonna lie. I was somewhat of a class clown. I was like, you know, jokey, but that was kind of how I dealt with my trauma. You know, kind of like laugh through the pain and the weirdness, if you will. And I did get in trouble a lot for, you know, always like talking out or whatever. But when I was home, you wouldn't know that was the same child that gets in trouble at school because I was quiet. I was very obedient. I tried to do whatever was told of me, because I felt that insecurity, because I felt like I needed to overcompensate. Even as a child, like, you know, as a child, you don't even think of a child knowing what the word overcompensate means. But as children, as young people, we do what we feel that we need to do in order to cope. We might not know the words for it, you know, but children learn coping mechanisms. And that was the coping mechanism that I learned. And as I began to go from childhood into like teenager and like high school, different things like that, it was kind of a weird shift for me, because I got away from most of like the clownery. If I was really close with somebody, like really close with them, then they would know my personality, you know, my jokiness, all of that kind of stuff. But everybody else, it was none of that. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's a whole bunch of people here. Like, this is high school. This is weird. I feel awkward. I feel different. I don't like the way I look, you know, all of that. So I was just like, I was shut down completely. I did not talk a lot. I did not socialize a lot. I was in like a few different little groups in school, but it wasn't like anything overly social or anything like that. No sports, no nothing like that. I was really withdrawn. I had severe anxiety in high school. All of that. And it was just like all these things are kind of a buildup, if you will. I don't know, like I just did not feel comfortable just to speak out. And again, I tried to be good and do good. You know, you usually have your little teenage things where, you know, teens will be rebellious and this or that, you know, talk back to parents, all that kind of stuff. I never felt comfortable enough to do that. I wasn't perfect. I did have a couple little episodes where I got in trouble or whatever, but it wasn't like the normal teen experience. I didn't feel comfortable enough to have the normal teen experience because I knew that the people taking care of me, although they loved me dearly, it was like it was just always a feeling in the back of myself of I don't want to make anybody mad because they're doing me a favor, even though I know, you know, they were doing it out of the love and the kindness of their heart by taking care of me. But we have to go back and look at those things. We got to go back and look at our lives and see, like, you know, where did these things transpire? Your story may be vastly different from mine. Your story may be similar. There's some people who are raised by their own parents and still feel like they're a burden. Like that literally happens. You know, I do know people like that. So that doesn't make my situation similar just because I wasn't raised by parents. But you have to go back and look at your life and your situation. If you notice that, you know, you've gotten to your later on in life and you have these patterns, you have these behaviors that you're not okay with, that they are like really stopping your productivity in life. You cannot set boundaries with anyone. You cannot say no to people. You know, you always want to be seen as the good person, the goody. You don't want anybody to see like a negative view of you for any reason. We're all going to have moments where there's going to be negativity. We're all going to have moments like, you know, where we have to speak up for ourselves, and everybody may not like that. And somebody may see that as, oh, you got a bad attitude. No, it's not a bad attitude when you speak up for yourself. When you speak up for yourself and when you stand your ground, that is not having a bad attitude. Having a bad attitude is, you know, just always for no apparent reason being negative, always for no apparent reason speaking down on someone or speaking negativity in a situation. That's a bad attitude. A bad attitude is not, I've clearly been wronged and I need to set the record straight, or I need to let someone know how they need to handle me as a person. You have to let people know how to handle you. You cannot just trust that everybody's going to handle you correctly, because people are not going to always handle you correctly because they may have been raised or taught completely different from you. So you have to let everyone that's in your life and that you have to communicate with on a consistent basis know this is how you need to handle me, okay? I'm me, and I, you know, require a certain level of respect. I require a certain level of, you know, I can't think of the word right now, but treat me and handle me in a certain way, okay? And I'm going to treat you and handle you with respect as well. And we're going to do that towards each other. And when we find ourselves where we cannot do that, that's an issue. And I mean, like I said, I went from those childhood and teen issues to so many more things happened throughout my 20s. God, so many more things. So many things happened throughout my early 30s. But those things were just like compounding on what was already a problem foundation, a troublesome foundation. So I probably wouldn't have even went through some of those things that I went through in my 20s and my early 30s if I had not have went through the things that I went through in my childhood. And if, you know, could have got some resolution on those things. But sometimes, like I said, I'm 40 years old now. So you get to this point and you see, you know, retrospect, you can look back, you can see all of that. We can't get that time back, but we can do what we can do going forward in order to make sure things go in a better direction for us. And as I said, I believe this was one of the last 2 videos I made, but your trauma may not be your problem. Because a lot of people like to say, oh, you're an adult and get over it, and, you know, this, that, and the other. But a lot of things that happened to us as a child really weren't our fault. We didn't have anything to do with it. We didn't have any control over it. But once you get to a certain place as an adult, our healing is our responsibility. So the trauma may not have been your responsibility. People are like, suck it up, get over it. No, I don't feel like that. I don't deal like that. I don't speak to other people in that manner. I don't encourage anybody to speak to themselves in that manner, because your trauma and your things you dealt with are serious. But as you become an adult, your healing is your responsibility. You doing the things you need to do and learning the things you need to know, seeking out help. that's your responsibility now, even though what happened may have not in any way, form, or fashion been your responsibility or your fault. We do have to step up now and try to make those changes. It's just, it comes to the point where you have to put in the effort, no matter really what it costs, because it's actually costing you everything. When you are, as I said last time, being maxed out all the time, stretching yourself thin, stressing yourself out, not being able to be there for the people that mean the most to you, your immediate family, your children, your partner, your spouse, whoever. You're not even able to be there for those people in the fullness that you could be, because you are too busy seeking validation and yeses and hand claps from everybody else in the world, that the people who actually matter the most to you and the people who you are actually responsible for, you can't even be there for them because you are stretched so thin everywhere else in the world, trying to keep yourself perfect in everybody else's opinion. And it's never going to happen. Everybody's always going to have an opinion of you. That's what I had to learn the hard way. Like, when I just in phases of my life, when I was trying to do everything perfect, everything right, just trying to be that humanitarian, if you will, be that perfect church person, if you will, it was still people who found wrong in me, even though I was trying to do everything I did. I knew that was right. When I found myself in phases of my life where I was making mistake on mistake on mistake on mistake, there were still people who had nothing good to say about me, and there were still people who had everything good to say about me. So opinions are just really like the wind, and you cannot worry about those. It has to come from within. But in order for us to get that change within, we got to go back and we got to map everything out. We got to see what's going on, and we can begin to restructure that foundation. We can begin to fix those cracks that are in the foundation. We can begin to do all those things. I want to invite you guys. Actually, I am doing a free live training. I'm titling it Controlling Your Path. Taking control back of your path, taking control back of your life, all these things that I talk about here frequently, that I talk about on Instagram, all of those things. I'm doing a free workshop just kind of as an overall, just to kind of help people get a jump start. We are still in the first month of the year. It is not too late. I don't care how old you are. You can be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It does not matter. It is never too old for you to begin to restructure your life, for you to begin to take control of your life. And that's why I want to just kind of help people and share more regarding controlling your own path, regarding getting that confidence back, getting out of that space of fear where everybody's opinions mean so much to you that you can't serve those who are right there depending on you, where you can't even serve yourself. Because I'm that person that believes in serving yourself first, because as they always say, they use the example from the airline, they say put your own mask on first before you try to help the person next to you if you're in a crash situation or something like that. And the same thing, you can't pour from an empty cup, as people frequently say. How do I have to give to somebody else, from friends, family, children, at my workplace, wherever, if my cup is empty? Because I'm just pouring it out all over the place, just I don't want to say nonsensically, but just because I want to gain approval. I'm not doing things because that's genuinely what I want to do. That's genuinely what I have the strength to do. That's genuinely what I have the mindset to do. I'm doing things because I want approval from everybody, and I cannot stand for anybody to be in disapproval of me, for anybody to disapprove of me. So we have to take control of that mindset. And my workshop is going to be going over those things, regaining your vision, releasing those fears, and being able to just kind of set your life back on the path to, hey, I'm in control now. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm not letting everybody else be in the driver's seat anymore. And it is going to be February the 4th. I'm going to drop the link in the comments of this video. Excuse me, not in the comments, but in the description of this video. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I don't know why you're not subscribed. I need you to subscribe. We're going to be talking about more things like this. I got some vlogs coming up. I got, I'm definitely going to be getting back into some try-ons. It's going to be a lot of different things going on. But my heart and my soul is helping people who feel like they have lost their voice. That's my heart. That's my soul. Authenticity. that's, you know, my heart, what I had to step into in order to begin to appreciate myself, and then I could better relate to those around me. And I want to share that with as many people as I can. So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel about this. You know, if it enlightened you in any way. If you have any ideas for future videos, definitely drop that in the comments as well. I would definitely love to connect with y'all. Come on over to Instagram, the.amanda.nora. On Instagram, I'm doing a lot over there, posting, etc. I would love to connect with you guys. Feel free to inbox me over there, whatever, and register for that free workshop in the description box below. And I hope to see some of you guys there, so we can share, we can connect, and we can kind of you know, start working through these things together. And thank you so much, and everybody have a great day.